Here today in this conversation, we want to invite you to give yourself permission. To give yourself permission to have what it is that you actually want. And today we want to talk about how you already do this in so many, many ways. So if you take a moment right now and you just take a deep breath and take a look around at what it is that you see, you're going to notice that you are already giving yourself massive amounts of permission to be right where you are. Because everything that is happening right at this moment is happening at your behest, on your behalf, in magical, marvelous, and delicious ways. So we invite you to notice that your experience here, your wonderful, delicious, amazing, powerful experience, is one that is inevitable. It must come to you. Because you have given it permission to do so. And that's what's happening right now. It's literally what's under your feet, what's in front of your nose, what your sensory data tells you, what your eyes and ears, your tongue, your fingers, every piece and part of what you identify as yourself that is observing the physical reality that surrounds you. Every part of this is here by your consent. You have already given permission for it. You do this in so many, many ways already. It's not that big of a deal, actually. So through this series of conversations, one of the things that we intend to bring forth is a powerful, powerful intention. Not for ourselves, but an invitation to you to have the intention to more fully give yourself permission in much more conscious ways. Now, one of the things that we're not talking about here, most definitely not talking about, is how you may be giving yourself permission for things you don't want. This conversation is very straightforward. You're giving yourself permission for things that you thought you wanted, but may have the manifestation of something you don't like. And that's very different than saying, oh, well, I gave myself permission, to sort of be kicked in the head. No. That's just a manifestation that didn't go quite the way you wanted it to. You see, this is not a series of conversations that we're inviting you to take in turn to use to make yourself wrong. This is a series of conversations that we're inviting you to use to recognize the inherent power that is available to you right now. Now, it may very well be the case that you wish to give yourself permission to have something it is that you want, that you don't believe you currently have. But as we delve deeper into this topic and look at it in a much more powerful way, one of the things that you're going to notice is how very much simple and easy it is to give yourself permission for anything and everything indeed. Because again, you're already doing it in so many ways. And the opportunity here is to look at your experience through the lens of the permission you've given yourself already. And to notice how that flows then into other arenas. The greatest dilemma that you ever encounter as an intentional manifester is not being blocked by things that you think are either conscious or unconscious that are getting in the way. That's not your real dilemma. That's sort of a sideshow conversation that, if you'll notice, doesn't really produce that many results. What is actually very much at the heart of the matter is the recognition that the declaration that you have something is what sets it in motion. You don't have to jump through hoops. You don't have to perform little tricks. You don't need to spin around in a circle 3 times and say the magic word in order to have what it is that you actually want, because you're surrounded in the having of what it is that you actually want. It's all the way around you. So one of the things that we would invite you to notice is how powerfully present you are to this manifestation. Something is happening here today that is already present for you. And instead of looking around to see where it isn't, we're inviting you to look around and see where it is. That's a massive, powerful way of giving yourself permission. Something amazing is happening here. Something wonderful, something delicious, something delightful, something without any doubt that is truly helpful, powerful, and present for you. If you are afraid that you do not have what it is that you're wanting, our suggestion would be to look at what you think that is and to call it forth into your physical reality by saying that I have it. I have it, I have it, I have it. It's here, it's done. That is a massively powerful way of giving yourself permission. But there's another way that you can do this, a little technique, a process that you might find to be useful. And it goes something like this. If you take a moment and you sit down where you are, and you just simply take a deep breath and close your eyes for a moment and feel your presence in your physical reality. You can open your eyes, you can keep them closed, however you prefer. And you just begin to feel your way into where you are right now. You could start with your physical body, but it's your vibrational awareness that we're interested in here. What it feels like emotionally to be where you are. Up, down, around, sideways, diagonal, it doesn't matter where you are. Just pay attention to what you're having in emotional terms. And if you will take a moment and take another deep breath and recognize that where you are right now is the culmination of where you have been. This is the leading edge. This is the most expansive place you've ever been, regardless of how it feels. The truth is that you are on the leading edge of the evolution of unconditional love. And it is your presence in the way that you are present to your reality, to your vibration, to your sense of who you are, regardless of what that is. You don't have to perfect anything here. It's already perfected. You don't have to get better at anything here. You're already doing an amazingly wonderful, powerfully delicious, and beautiful job. You being you has never been better than it is right now. Just keep breathing in and breathing out and noticing this. And even if you're fighting with yourself about what we're saying, even if you're coming up with all sorts of reasons as to why that would not be the case, that still is the leading edge of the evolution of unconditional love. If you can, for a moment, notice the truth of what we're saying, then you will feel what it feels like to give yourself permission. And if you cannot, that's perfectly fine. It's much better to have stopped for a moment, to check in, to tap in, to take stock, and to feel where you are, than to have just kept running through your life, ignoring, not paying attention, and generally dismissing the powerful truth of who you are. So this process, this exercise, this technique is one that you can use at any time when you're wondering why it is that you are where you are. Instead of treating yourself as being the person who did not accomplish it, you could instead treat yourself as the person who is in the middle of the unfolding. this powerful process doesn't accomplish anything in and of itself, but it is very helpful indeed. And it allows you, where you are right now, right here, to give yourself more and more permission each and every day, each and every moment, to let yourself have the beauty, the magnificent, the wonderful joy of who you are right now, which is already happening. Because indeed, the permission you're giving yourself is the permission to perceive it, because it is already in place. That's why stopping to take stock can be so very helpful indeed. Our suggestion to you is that you do, throughout this day today, take stock, take a moment to take a deep breath, and notice where you are, what it feels like, what you're experiencing, and what you're having. To notice that you are indeed at the leading edge of the expression and the expansion of unconditional love as you know it, which is exactly right here and right now. That nothing more is needed, nothing is lacking, and all is well in every way, both imaginable to you and not yet perceived. For the truth of who you are is what is in expression here. And the having of anything flows from that.